You ever walked into a room and felt your stomach tighten before anyone even spoke? Or had a conversation that left you drained for hours, even though the words were nice? That's not your imagination. That's energy. And not just any energy, it's toxic, unfiltered, misaligned frequency trying to enter your system. And most people, they absorb it without even knowing. But what if I told you there's a simple technique so deceptively simple, it almost sounds too easy, that can block any toxic energy instantly, on the spot, before it even touches your field? I'm not here to sell you a mantra or a product. I'm here to give you something ancient. Something that's been passed down through lineages of energy walkers, spiritual warriors, and frequency architects who learned the hard way that light alone doesn't protect you, awareness does. And what I'm going to share today is going to change the way you walk into every room, every relationship, every moment of your life. Not because it's magic, but because it's mechanics, the mechanics of frequency, vibration, and the way your field responds to the world around you. Let me take you on a journey. Picture this: a monk in the Himalayas, meditating at 17,000 feet, completely still, while storms rage around him. Not flinching, not resisting, just anchored. Now picture a modern-day empath walking through a grocery store, absorbing everyone's stress, anxiety, and unresolved rage without even realizing it. Who do you think is more spiritually attacked? The answer might shock you. It's the empath. Why? Because the monk has technique. The empath has openness without instruction. And that's the difference between suffering and sovereignty.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
The technique I'm about to teach you is called the field flip. It's not visualization. It's not prayer. It's a neurological and energetic reset that happens in real time, in real space, with real results. And the reason it works is because it doesn't just protect you, it repositions you in the energy dynamic. You don't block toxic energy by shielding yourself all day. That's exhausting. You block it by becoming the dominant frequency in any field you enter. Period. And the field flip is how you do that. Here's how it works. The moment you feel heaviness, tightness, or any kind of energetic offness, whether it's someone speaking or just a presence around you, you pause. You stop reacting. You close your eyes for 3 seconds if possible. Then silently, internally, you do one thing. You drop your awareness from your head to your navel. That's it. Sounds simple, but it's not. Because what you're doing is dropping out of the mind, where energy enters through thought, and into the hara, the energetic center of power and stillness. The moment you do this, your field reverses the charge. You stop absorbing, and you start transmitting. You stop being the sponge, and you become the source. Now let's break it down even deeper. Why the navel? Because in every ancient tradition, from Chinese Taoism to Japanese martial arts to Vedic yogic science, the area just below the navel, what the Japanese call hara, in the Chinese call dantian, is considered the seat of true power. It is the center of gravity in the body, the energetic axis, the one place you cannot be pulled from if you are anchored there. When energy gets toxic, it's because it's interacting with a loose field. When your field is rooted in the head, you're hypermental, overly empathic, and easily hijacked. But when you drop into the hara, you become dense, still, immovable. You don't need to push toxic energy away. That's what most people do. They resist. They try to clear it with light, sage, or sound. And while those tools can help, they are secondary. The primary mechanism of blocking energy is becoming energetically sovereign. And you can't do that from your head. You have to drop into your core and hold. That's the field flip. It's so fast, so subtle, and so powerful that most people miss it. But the truth is, this one shift can change your entire life. You don't need to fight negativity anymore. You just need to become the field that cannot be entered without your permission. So let me ask you a question that might shake you. What if every single energetic attack you've ever experienced only worked because you were positioned to receive it unconsciously? What if the moment you chose to drop into your center and broadcast instead of absorb, that attack would bounce off like static hitting steel? We've been taught that spiritual protection is about walls, mirrors, shields. But the ancient ones knew it was never about defense. It was about presence. The most protected person in the world is not the one who hides. It's the one who knows who they are in every room they enter. That's your next step. Not to become harder, not to become more armored, but to become more present in your body. Because toxic energy can't enter you when you're fully home. And the more you practice the field flip, the more it becomes automatic. You'll walk into a room, feel something shift, and instead of shrinking or questioning yourself, you'll instantly drop into your core, flip the field, and become the dominant frequency. No force, no fear, just silent, grounded authority. In the next part, I'm going to show you exactly how to integrate this into your daily life. From your morning routine to your interactions with family, strangers, and public spaces, I'll share how to recode your nervous system so your energy field becomes naturally resistant to manipulation and emotional hijack. And I'll give you a series of real-world examples, places where you're being energetically drained without even realizing it, and how to reverse it in 10 seconds or less. Because this spiritual journey isn't about escaping the world. It's about walking through it as a living transmission of unshakable clarity. And you're about to become that. The energetic commandment, how to make the field flip, a daily practice that blocks manipulation instantly. Let's go deeper. You now know how the field flip works, dropping awareness from your head into your hara, the energetic center of gravity just below your navel. It's not complicated, but the power of it doesn't come from knowing it. It comes from living it, and that's where most people fall short. They do it once, feel a shift, then go right back to their mental chaos, their emotional openness, their leaky field. But if you want to block toxic energy instantly, not just once, but every time, you must turn the field flip into a daily energetic commandment. It must become your new baseline, not a reaction, but a way of being. Let me be clear, you don't need to meditate for hours or do rituals all day to shield yourself. That's old paradigm thinking. The new paradigm is about automatic energetic sovereignty. It's about wiring your nervous system to respond to energy before your mind even has time to interpret it. That's why the field flip must move from a technique into a reflex. And the way you do that? Repetition, anchoring, and integration into your daily micro movements. You must train your body to default to the hara without needing a crisis to trigger it. Start with this. Every morning, Before you check your phone, before you speak, before you even open your eyes, fully place your hand on your lower belly and breathe into it. Not your chest, not your throat. Breathe into your center. Feel it expand. Feel it ground. Then silently command, I am anchored in my core. My field is sovereign. I do not absorb, I radiate. That's not just a mantra. That's a neural code. You're reprogramming the way your brain and body interact with energy. Do this every morning for 7 days, and you'll see a radical shift, not just in how you feel, but in how people respond to you. They'll sense something different. They won't know what it is, but they'll feel it. Now take it into your day. Walking into a store, flip the field. Drop into the hara. Talking to someone draining, flip the field. Feeling anxious, foggy, or emotionally scrambled, flip the field. Every time you do it, you're reclaiming your seat of power. And the more you do it, the more your body begins to take over. Eventually, you won't even need to think about it. Your system will detect misaligned energy and auto-drop into your core before it enters your field. That's the goal. Effortless energetic authority. But let's get even more practical. There are places and people in your life right now that are triggering field leakage. You don't need to cut them all off. You need to interact with them from your center. Let me give you 3 examples. Digital overload. Every time you scroll social media unconsciously, you open your field to hundreds of people's unresolved emotions. Before you open any app, flip the field, drop into your hara. Set a timer. Move with intention. You'll notice you start feeling less drained, less wired, and less off after screen time. Family dynamics. Most emotional manipulation doesn't come from strangers, it comes from people close to us. When an old pattern starts to surface around family, flip the field. Don't react. Don't explain. Just breathe into your core and observe. You'll see the energetic hook that used to pull you in now passes right by you. Crowded public spaces, airports, malls, public transport, these are frequency jungles. But if you walk through them ungrounded, your field gets scrambled fast. But if you flip the field before you enter, you become the energetic pillar in the room. You'll find people giving you space, conversations flowing smoother, even tech glitches going away. It's real. Energy responds to anchored presence. Now let's talk about emotional transference, a sneaky way toxic energy enters. It happens when someone projects their unprocessed emotions onto you, and without realizing it, you pick it up as your own. You feel sad, anxious, angry, but it's not even yours. It's borrowed energy. The field flip prevents this by creating a clear energetic signature. When you're in your core, your field becomes like a password-protected network. Only frequencies that match your alignment can access it. The rest? They bounce. No confrontation needed, just energetic clarity. And that's the deeper wisdom here. Blocking toxic energy isn't about defense, it's about clarity of presence. The clearer you are within yourself, the less you magnetize distortion. The more fully you inhabit your field, the less porous it becomes. You don't need people to change. You don't need the world to be more loving. You just need to stop leaving your energetic doors unlocked. The field flip is how you lock them, not with fear, but with sovereignty. So let me ask you something sacred. How many times have you blamed others for draining you, when in truth you were not fully home in your own field? That's not shame, that's power. Because if you caused it unconsciously, you can reverse it consciously. And that reversal begins the moment you say, I no longer absorb. I anchor. I broadcast. I choose. In the final part, I'm going to take you to the next level. You'll learn how to combine the field flip with your voice, your walk, your presence, so that you don't just block toxic energy, you command the energy of the room. You'll learn how to transmit peace so strong it dissolves conflict, how to walk through emotional chaos without a scratch, and how to become the kind of person who's not only protected but respected by the unseen. Because when you master your field, you don't just survive energy, you shape it. A master of the room, how to use the field flip to radiate unshakable presence and bend the energy around you. Now we enter the final layer, the mastery. You've learned to flip the field. You've practiced anchoring into your hara. You've seen how this changes your day, your interactions, your protection. But here's what most people never realize. The true power of this technique isn't just in blocking toxic energy, it's in commanding your environment subtly, silently, and absolutely. Because the moment you stop absorbing and start radiating, you stop surviving the energy of others and begin shaping it. Imagine walking into a room with tension so thick you can feel it in your bones. Most people would tense up, shrink, or try to mentally navigate it. But not you. You walk in, flip the field, and suddenly the energy around you begins to mirror your centeredness. People calm down. Space opens up. Conversations soften. Why? Because you became the energetic anchor. And energy follows the most stable vibration in the room. Always. This isn't about charisma. This is energetic law. And when you live from your hara, you carry a kind of presence that rewrites the script of every space you enter. Let me give you something powerful. When you speak from your head, your words carry thought. When you speak from your heart, they carry emotion. But when you speak from your hara, your voice carries command. It lands differently. It bypasses resistance. It doesn't argue, it transmits truth. That's why monks sound like thunder even when they whisper. They're not trying to convince you, they're channeling a stillness that cannot be denied. You can do the same. Before speaking, flip the field. Drop down. Feel your words rising from your gut, not your thoughts. That's when you stop talking and start transmitting presence. Now let's take it deeper. Your walk, your posture, your glance, all of these are vehicles for energy. When you're in your head, your body leaks uncertainty. You slump, you overexpress, you fidget. People feel it. But when you walk from your hara, you don't need to look confident. You are confidence. Not as ego, but as energetic stability. You become like a mountain. People don't know why they trust you or why they calm down when you're near. They just do. Because your frequency is holding the room. And most people are starving for that kind of frequency without even knowing it. Let's look at conflict. Whether it's a heated conversation or an emotional storm, most of us are trained to rise up to defend or shrink to avoid. But when you're in your core, you do neither. You transmit a calm so dense that it absorbs chaos. You don't fight fire. You extinguish it with grounded presence. This is what great spiritual masters, negotiators, and even warriors have mastered, not just blocking energy, but neutralizing it through vibrational clarity. That's the field flip at its most advanced form, not a defense mechanism, but a reality-shaping tool. Now I'll give you something very few talk about. The moment you master this technique, you start attracting new levels of challenge, not because you're weak, but because you're ready to lead. The universe will send you into rooms, relationships, missions where your field is needed to stabilize chaos. That's part of the unspoken vow of a frequency holder. You no longer walk into spaces for comfort. You walk into them to bring order. And if you don't know how to hold your field, you'll be pulled out of alignment quickly. But if you do, if you keep flipping into your core, again and again you become the storm's silence. So ask yourself now, are you living from your surface or your center? Are you reacting to energy or shaping it? Are you hoping to be protected or walking as protection itself? Because your answer to that determines whether you're a follower of energy or a commander of it. And when you start to move as the latter, your entire life reorganizes. People respect you more. Chaos avoids you. Opportunities open. Not because you're manifesting harder, but because your field is finally strong enough to hold what your soul has been calling in all along. This is a new era of spiritual power. Not soft, not performative, but anchored, silent, and steady. The ones who rise now will not be the loudest. They will be the ones who can walk into the most chaotic spaces and not flinch. The ones who can hold their frequency when everyone else collapses. The ones who don't just protect themselves but become the reason others feel safe without knowing why. That's who we're becoming. That's what this technique unlocks. So here's your final instruction. Every time you walk into a new space, flip the field. Every time someone speaks with intensity, flip the field. Every time you feel resistance, distraction, or emotional noise, flip the field. Make it your default. Make it your home frequency. And soon you won't need to protect yourself anymore, because your very presence will become the protection others seek. Let me leave you with this. When you become the dominant frequency in a room, you don't overpower others, you free them to return to their own center. This is the highest form of spiritual leadership. Not teaching, not preaching, just holding the field so clearly that others remember who they are by standing next to you. You don't need to fight toxic energy anymore. You don't need to hide from it. You only need to stand in the truth of your core. So go. Flip the field. Hold it. Walk it. Speak from it. Shape the world with it. And when they ask what changed, you'll smile. Because you'll know it wasn't magic. It was mastery. If this transmission dropped into your bones, don't just let it fade. Share it with someone who needs to remember their power. The quiet ones, the tired ones, the ones who still think they need to fight for peace. You don't fight for peace, you become it. And peace is the strongest frequency on earth.